Hey, Dewan here, and thanks for checking out this product review. Now, before we get started and jump into this review, I want to let you know that if you would like to work with your very own personal internet marketing coach to help you copy and paste your way to an online income of up to $10,000 per month, then check out the first link in the description. You can grab the reviewed product from the second link in the description at any point during this video. And when you do, I'm going to give you my three awesome bonuses that are going to help you make money even faster. Okay, so for bonus number one, you're going to get my detailed strategy for YouTube SEO. That's right, you'll be able to rank your YouTube videos in 2024 on the first page. Rank your YouTube videos with proven SEO strategies I successfully used in 2023 that will continue to work in 2024. You want to get your YouTube videos ranking on the first page and driving more views? In this bonus guide, I'll show you my proven step-by-step blueprint to optimize your videos for YouTube search. Just roll up your sleeves and follow the checklist to start ranking your videos higher in YouTube and getting them in front of your ideal audience. The steps work as we head into 2024, driven by search behavior data and best practices. Okay, so for bonus number two, access to a strategy that includes a virtually unknown website that will give you 25,000 new email subscribers every single Friday. Follow and do this step by step strategy every week, and you can send your offers to thousands of prospects. Get the source and the steps by using my link in the description. For bonus number three, you're going to get 9 real websites where rich people literally give away free money. You're going to be able to use the money to pay off your bills or start a business. It's true. Yep, there are some websites online where kind, rich people donate to people in need. Okay, now on to the product review.
Hey there, my name is Michael Cheney, and in the next few minutes, I'm going to drastically change your life for the better. I'm about to show you how you could be free forever from the fear of any of the following: outliving your retirement savings, losing your nest egg to inflation, or ever struggling with financial uncertainty. I'm going to reveal my exact system that I use to make $249,701 of pure profit, totally hands-free by the way, every single month, without running ads, without creating a product, and without fulfilling any services, or ever touching customer service. And it only requires 30 to 60 minutes a day. But before I tell you anything else, I want you to stop. Take a moment to think about how different your life would be if you weren't under the constant stress of financial uncertainty. Hold that blissfully peaceful moment in your mind and picture this. You wake up without the alarm clock on a weekday, roll out of bed without anywhere to be. You glance at your bank account. Not only is it growing daily, but you are sitting on a huge stockpile of cash. It absolutely dwarfs any bank balance you've ever had in your life, because that's my reality. And I want it to be your reality too. That's why I want to tell you a secret. It's a little story that totally changed my life. And if you watch this, all of this, I promise it will change your life too. In fact, I truly believe if you take action, this will be the most valuable thing you've ever seen. It's directly responsible for me netting millions in personal profit. So listen carefully, because this dead simple system can easily replace your day job. In fact, this automatic money machine can not only replace your day job, but give you guaranteed income on autopilot 24/7, 365 days a year for life. Simply put, this system works hard so you don't have to. And today, you'll have the opportunity to duplicate this entire $1 million profit-producing machine for the token price of a measly $10. Keep listening to learn how. But before I reveal everything, I want to give you a sneak peek at the technically legal but totally unfair advantages you will claim as a member of my exclusive Profit Alliance. You'll learn why 95% of entrepreneurs don't make money and why Profit Alliance is totally different. Discover where the real money is hidden online and exactly how to tap into it. Learn my proprietary reverse funnel system that flips the guru model on its head and puts the profit back into your pocket. And discover the 3 types of free buyer traffic. Important, one is 5 to 8 times more valuable. You'll also grab my top secret traffic tornado formula that dynamically explodes a whirlwind of buyer traffic. and get my ultimate cheat sheet, which is a list of tools and resources that I use daily to make millions in my business. Hint, you need to start using these ASAP. Every tool you need is revealed. And as you can see, I've literally left no stone unturned to give you the most powerful money-making system on the planet. I've personally used these exact tactics to earn $15,000 to $30,000 paydays on autopilot with free traffic. Now, at this point, you have to be asking, why would I basically be giving away a 7-figure plug-and-play profit-producing machine? And I'm glad you asked, because I'd love to share the story of not only why I feel morally compelled to do this, but also how I accidentally stumbled onto the greatest money-making shortcut of all time. You need to keep watching to hear the story of one man's $7 million secret. Find out why one man made millions while the other lost it all. This is their story. On a crisp fall morning some 20 years ago, two aspiring entrepreneurs happened to meet up at a marketing conference. Little did they know this chance meeting would alter the course of both of their lives forever. One of these young men would discover something of incredible value, the master key to creating massive wealth, while the other would end up broke and broken, with nothing to show for his hard work. What was the difference? It certainly wasn't their pedigree. Both men were from middle-class families with modest resources, and it wasn't even natural talent. Both men enjoyed a very similar set of talents and skills. In fact, two men could hardly be more alike in opportunity. So how did one of these ambitious young men make millions, while the other, with all else being equal, ended up broke, busted, and disgusted with his life? I'm sure you're curious, and I'm about to tell you exactly what made the difference. Hint, it's something so obvious that it's staring you right in the face. But first, I want to ask you a simple question. Are you truly happy with your life? If you are, then I want to warn you to stop watching immediately. I'm serious, because what you're about to learn will change your perspective about everything. It will open your eyes to a world of possibilities you cannot begin to imagine. And once you see what's possible for you, it will be impossible to be content with your life as it is. So if you've already convinced yourself that your life is as good as it can be, then what I'm about to share with you is not meant for you. But if you lay awake at night, stricken with fear and anxiety about the future, frustrated by your financial failures, and miserable with your life, then you owe it to yourself to watch this entire video, because you deserve to know the real reason why you've been shut out of success for so long. You see, what one of those men found that day was the secret why some people achieve incredible success and other people, who are seemingly equally talented and capable, waste their lives in the misery of mediocrity, just struggling to get by. If you feel like you're in the second group, even though you have more talent, maybe you feel you even work harder and deserve it even more than others you've watched achieve success, then you need to keep watching. And if you've ever wondered if you are missing a piece of the puzzle, if you know in your heart that you deserve more success than you've gotten, but you feel deep down like someone has stacked the odds against you, then you need to keep watching to find out why. The conversation. If we look back on the day of the conference, we would see those two ambitious young men chatting away, passing the time between their highly anticipated keynote speakers. While waiting, they began to compare notes. They quickly realized that they came from nearly identical backgrounds. Neither of these young men possessed any particularly special talent, and neither were born into any particular advantage. Both were of middle-class stock, with no connections or advantages to tip the scales in their favor. Quickly recognizing how much alike they were, they struck up a friendship. They talked about their hopes, their dreams, and their goals, and all of the big plans they had for the future. Almost anyone can relate to the naive optimism of youth, that feeling that you will take on the world and become unstoppable, before the harsh reality of the work world grinds your optimism into the dirt. It's pretty easy to feel like you're on top of the world at 21, but in your 40s, that's a different story. Anyway, back to the conference. The pact. As the speakers took to the stage, the young men stayed glued to their seats, hanging on every word, both determined to discover that nugget of wisdom, that one thing that would be the breakthrough. They ravenously consumed the inspirational words of speaker after speaker, absorbing every precious detail of the conference. After the final speaker concluded, the two looked at each other, and they both knew that within them now was planted the potential to create incredible wealth. They both felt like a sleeping giant had been awakened within them. If we act on what we learned here this weekend, we can make millions, they agreed together. After slapping each other on the back to celebrate their good fortune, they shook hands and made a pact. Let's meet up in 20 years and toast to our massive success. And so it was set along with both of their fortunes, although neither of them realized it yet. The text message. Life went on for both of the young entrepreneurs. Time passed as it has a way of doing, and slowly but surely things began to change. Although neither of the young men had started out with a penny to his name, one of the young men soon found himself partnered in a lucrative deal. The success of the first deal opened the door to another deal, and then another, and so on, and he continued doing what he'd done before. His hard work compounded his results. Sooner than he ever dreamed possible, he found himself looking at a bank statement that showed he was, in fact, a millionaire. Obviously, it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows, but he kept doing what worked, stacking his results, watching his wealth compound day after day and year after year. In what felt like an eternity and yet a blink of an eye at the same time, the young man found that he wasn't quite so young anymore. He had a beautiful wife and lovely children. They lived in a wonderful home and vacationed in exotic countries. He even treated himself to a Lamborghini, his childhood dream car. Life was as good as it gets, and the world was his oyster. Sitting in his den one night reflecting, he received a text from an unknown number. "It's been 20 years next week. Are you still good for that drink?" the text asked. A flood of memories hit the man as he thought back all those years to the conference and how a simple act of friendship could change everything. "You name the place, I'll be there," he replied. And so the meeting was set. As they both arrived, it became clear that the years hadn't been as kind to one as the other. One wore decades of worry on his face, and his gait was nothing like the confident young man at the conference. Ignoring the obvious and excited to catch up, the first man wasted no time in asking, "So how have you been, old friend?" The second man stared bleakly. "It's been a rough patch," he answered. As the waiter came to take their order, the second man glanced nervously at the menu. Sensing his hesitancy, the first man quickly said, "Tonight is on me. We're celebrating life and toasting to our success." A look of relief washed over the face of the second man. He ordered something modest and settled back in his chair. "How have things turned out for you?" he asked the first man. Reluctant to brag, the first man modestly answered that he'd become quite successful. "As successful as we thought we would be all those years ago?" the second man asked. "Beyond even our wildest dreams," the first man replied, with a confident smile. The second man slumped into his chair and looked at him with disbelief. "But how?" he demanded. The first man answered, "It really all started at the conference. That's where I found the key." He then proceeded to explain how he'd stacked success upon success, layering his wins in such a way that he'd built for himself a life of wealth and affluence, but more importantly, freedom. "What key, though? I don't understand," interrupted the second man. "When we left the conference, we had the exact same information. We had the exact same notes. We had the exact same opportunity. Yet here I am struggling while you have everything. What happened? How did you become so wildly successful while I ended up a miserable failure?" he added, shaking his head. "It was never about the notes, the speakers, the positive affirmations, or any of that other feel-good stuff, my friend," the first man said. "That was never the answer. The truth is, I've attended hundreds of these conferences and spoken at dozens, and the secrets they all promise from the stage are pretty much the same. But there's a force that is infinitely more powerful. It's around all of us, hiding in plain sight, but it's something they will never tell you about, because if you discover it, you'll never need them again." The second man was almost screaming with curiosity at this point. What is it? I have to know." The first man looked at him calmly and said, "I could tell you, but you won't listen, because the secret is a living riddle that almost no one understands." The second man tried to stifle his jealous rage. "For the love of Pete, man, stop with the word puzzles. You're a businessman, not the Buddha. Tell me the secret." The first man shook his head and smiled. "Do you remember that one older gentleman from the conference? You remember the guy who we stopped to chat with during the intermission between the speakers? He was the kindly old fellow who smelled of pipe tobacco. The second man nodded. Of course, I remember him. He was such a bloody nuisance. He yammered on and on when the speaker was getting ready to go on the stage. In fact, didn't you miss the celebrity keynote speech while showing that old buffoon to a restroom? Chuckled the second man. The first man nodded. I did, but that eccentric old buffoon just happened to be worth millions. The second man gasped. So that's your secret? He gave you the money? Not at all, replied the first man. In fact, he never actually gave me a dime. Then how? What did he give you? Insider stock tips? He didn't give me anything, but he opened my eyes to something that was infinitely more powerful than information or even money, and it allowed me to create both on demand. You're killing me. What did he show you? The first man replied. It's something he called a profit alliance. A profit alliance, he said, shaking his head. I don't understand. I told you wouldn't, said the first man. The only way to really understand is to be part of one, he added. The secret to my success wasn't about any specific information I got. It was about learning about the power of profitable relationships. Alliances are way more powerful than anything created alone. I still don't get it, said the second man, shaking his head. Think of it this way, said the first man. A profit alliance allows you to borrow millions in resources and then use that leverage to create incredible wealth for yourself in record time. Finally, a light came on in the man's head. Fascinated, he leaned forward. Tell me more. The Profit Alliance. In case you haven't already guessed, that first entrepreneur was me. And the other guy was a friend I met at the marketing conference all those years ago. By all accounts, he should have been more successful than me. Even though we started out basically the same, he worked harder than I did. He invested more hours than I did. He made greater sacrifices than I made. And yet he only got a fraction of the results that I've enjoyed. And I only invested a fraction of the effort that he did. So what was the difference? It was something called a profit alliance. A profit alliance is the single most powerful method for building wealth fast. In fact, using a profit alliance as a 25-year-old kid with zero other advantages, I managed to clear over $60,000 in a single weekend with just a few hours of work. And once I learned how to form a profit alliance, I became financially indestructible. This concept will literally set you free from ever needing to work a 9-to-5 job, ever caring what the stock market does, ever looking at the price of anything unless you want to. And that's why it's been the best kept secret of the world's most successful businessmen. Until now, it was always discussed quietly among the privileged few. But I'm not only spilling the beans on all the secrets, I'm busting you in through the front door. But before I bring you in, I want to give you 3 simple, indisputable facts that prove beyond any shadow of a doubt exactly why a profit alliance is the single greatest wealth creation tool on the planet, period. Fact number 1, the most certain way to create wealth is using OPR, or other people's resources, aka a profit alliance. Think about it. You store your hard-earned money in banks. Then they lend it to the already wealthy people who use it to buy already successful businesses. Businesses they use to generate a consistent cash flow for life. They use OPR, aka your money, in a profit alliance with the bank, i.e. they used your hard-earned money to get even richer. This literally happens every day. I know, because now that I've earned my seat at the millionaire's table, I see it happen firsthand all the time. And if that makes you pissed off, good, you should be. You see, I may be wealthy now, but in my heart, I'll always be one of the little guys. So I decided to flip that perverted process on its head. I decided to take my resources as a multi-millionaire and lend them to you so that you could create that same wealth for your family. Here's a sneak peek at the tip of the iceberg. I'm giving you full license to borrow one of my businesses, the same ones responsible for $6.9 million in profits for me and my family. I'm letting you borrow my $1 million business to jumpstart your journey. A profit alliance is the only method of wealth building that is 100% recession proof, 100% foolproof, and 100% secure. Why? Because you're borrowing my already proven 7-figure assets that are guaranteed to work and using them as your own business, just like the fat cats at the big banks have been doing to you for years, but in reverse. Fact number 2, it's the safest way to build wealth. because partnering with a profitable business lets you grow with the cash flow, aka a profit alliance. And it leverages the power of so much momentum that it basically cannot fail. And it also leverages other people's resources. So there's zero risk. You get the best of both worlds. And that's what I discovered from the wily old businessman all those years ago. And I want to give you the same opportunity. The opportunity to partner with a multi-millionaire businessman and borrow my $1 million business as virtual collateral to create your own. So if you ever felt like you were on the outside looking in, and if you ever wondered why a privileged few always seem to get lucky, this is why. This is how elite circles of society create their own luck. They leverage the safety and unlimited power of a profit alliance that can't fail. Fact number 3, the fastest way to create massive wealth with minimal effort is by using other people's resources, aka a profit alliance. Think about this for a moment and try not to get furious as reality sets in. When a little guy wants to own a business, they always try to start up from scratch. They typically save up for years before they even have a down payment for the equipment to get started. They start at the bottom. But when a rich guy wants to own a business, he just borrows a large sum of money from the bank and he uses it for a down payment to buy an already successful business, which the bank is happy to lend on because these businesses basically never fail. Remember, this is literally the safest model on the planet too. So he basically starts out with one foot on the finish line. And where do you think the money comes from? This is the part where you get really angry. It was your money. Yep. The already rich guy used your hard-earned dollars to buy a business, while you still struggle every single day to make ends meet. Now that truth bomb should taste a bit like a turd sandwich, and you've got every right to feel angry and frustrated when you realize this, but you must channel that rage into a solution if you want to change. And I've got that solution for you right here. You already have indisputable proof that a profit alliance is the fastest, safest, and most certain wealth creation tool in existence. And now I'm giving you the key that I found, the same one that opens the door to infinite profits. I'm inviting you to become a part of my already successful profit alliance. I want to give you the same foolproof system that I use to make millions. Well, not give exactly, don't panic. You can't actually give it away because it wouldn't be an alliance if I just gave it away. But I do want to form a profit alliance with you today. An alliance that literally prints money for you every day with zero effort. Now it sounds too good to be true. I know, maybe even a little crazy, but I can back it up. Here's why. Last month, I averaged $13,777 a day, and I did it with almost zero effort and no risk, and only working a few days a week when I felt like it. And I don't say that to brag, it's just to help you understand why I'm uniquely positioned to help you. You see, I've managed to uncover many money-making secrets over the last 20 years, and now I want to share the massive wealth that I've built. And I want to do that by giving you a step-by-step, copy and paste, 100% foolproof blueprint to create cash on demand right out of thin air. How can I make a claim like that? Because I've been walking the walk for 20 years. Now, obviously, I wasn't always regarded as an A-list marketer, and I couldn't just pull cash out of thin air when I first got started. In fact, I struggled terribly before I discovered the secret. Even making a single dollar took massive effort, and that's why I can feel your pain. There were times back then where I felt like I hit a brick wall, and maybe there are times right now when you feel the exact same way. But if you're a fighter, and I know you are, that's when you are forced to figure it out and discover how you're going to get past the obstacle in your way. When I first started this financial independence journey, I constantly struggled. Success did not come easy for me. I made a ton of mistakes. When I hit rock bottom and was ready to throw in the towel, I had this realization. There has to be a way to unlock all these closed doors that are blocking my path to success. That's what eventually led me to attend a marketing conference in the story, which is where I uncovered what I consider my holy grail. It's the secret to the massive success I've had. And it's the one thing that you're missing, the one thing keeping you from massive success. And it's this one thing called a profit alliance. You see, all those years ago, when I met that kindly old businessman, we had a conversation that quite literally blew my mind. I had no clue he was fabulously wealthy and running a big business, but I've always had a heart to help other people in need. So when he asked us young guns for a favour, I was happy to help him out. Even though I had no clue who he was yet, but while waiting in line, I asked him what he did for a living. And that's when we had the following conversation. What do I do for a living? Well, I'm a hitchhiker, I guess, he said to me. At least it feels that way sometimes. What do you mean? I asked. I just hop aboard the fastest ride I can find and hitchhike right to the top. He went on to explain the concept of a profit alliance to me. Every single person in that conference room wants to recreate the wheel, he said, when what they should be doing is finding the fastest set of wheels in the room and just hitching a ride with them. Listen, son, I can find an already profitable business by lunch, partner in what they are already doing successfully, and I'll make $1 million in profit before the whole lot of those smart guys in there can pull their heads out their asses, he said, laughing. Think of it this way. Would you rather join the reigning Super Bowl champions on their team or try to start your own team from the ground up? And that's when the light bulb went off for me. I'd wasted so much time trying to recreate the wheel when all I needed to do to be successful immediately was partner with a winner, because everyone knows that winners just keep on winning. As a result of that conversation, I walked back into the conference and I chatted with everyone that would stand still until I found the fastest set of wheels in the place. I connected with that successful entrepreneur and I offered to form an alliance with him using my skill set to help him with his already very successful business. And just by hitchhiking on his success, I managed to clear over $60,000 on a Saturday, twice what I made the entire year before. Now, needless to say, from that moment onwards, I was hooked. And instead of looking everywhere with fear and scarcity, I was absolutely full of unshakable confidence. Instead of seeing successful businesses and feeling jealous, everywhere I looked, I saw potential profit alliances, and a whole world full of incredible abundance was opening up. Everywhere I looked, there was a successful business that I could partner with. And all I needed to do was form a profit alliance with them. To this day, I never care what the stock market is doing. I pay zero attention to the silly politics on TV, and I have more abundance than ever because I know this secret, that the next level is always just one profit alliance away. So now that you know my secret, I'd like to ask you a simple question. It's the same question I asked my old friend over dinner that night. How different would your life be if you woke up every morning with unshakable financial confidence, incredible material abundance, zero uncertainty about the future, and a life of total freedom? Because that's what you can have when you learn the secret of profit alliances. This is quite literally the missing piece that's been preventing you from achieving everything that you're capable of. And I really want to give that to you now. But the catch is, an alliance isn't given. It can't be. It has to be formed. So I want to form an alliance with you, the one that will set you up with financial security for life. I've already done everything on my end to make this successful. The only thing you have to do is hitch a ride on my $13,777 a day rocket ship. You just have to make one small commitment to our alliance, and that commitment is to press this button. Once you click the button underneath this video, your financial future is secure forever, because you'll have broken through the glass ceiling and formed a profit alliance with a multi-millionaire entrepreneur, someone who has a track record of 20 years of consistent success. And I'm giving you access to all of that. I'm handing you the keys to my 7-figure business. I'm lending you my credibility and giving you a copy-paste formula for growth. This business is already booming, and I'm going to give you a piece of the pie. Answer me this. If Tom Brady asked you to come play on the box, if James Cameron said he needed you for the next Avatar film, if Elon Musk called you and asked you if you wanted to partner with him in Tesla, what would you say? You'd say yes, obviously, because these guys are legendary winners. And you'd know that just by joining with them, that you would be a winner too. That's the same offer you're getting right here, right now, today. And it's so good, it can't fail. Here's more proof. Fact number 1, I am the best player in this corner of the info marketing world, and it's not even close. Fact number 2, I've assembled the best team in the business, bar none, and I'm willing to share them with you. Fact number 3, I have the best offer, period, an alliance in one of my elite businesses. By the way, this one business made over $250,000 profit just last month. So the only thing that you should be asking at this point is, where do I sign up? Because this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to eliminate all financial uncertainty and to join a team of world-class winners to take absolute control of your future. There are obviously only a limited number of spots because my team can only support a set number of alliance partners. And once they're gone, this opportunity is lost forever. So you've got two options here. You can sit right there on the fence and live a mediocre life of misery like my old friend did. Or you can shake my hand, form an alliance with me, and I'll open the door to a world you didn't even know existed, where you can create abundance on demand. This should be the easiest choice you've ever made in your life, unless you're like my old friend from that day. He waited 20 years to finally get started. By the way, he's actually doing very well for himself now that I've showed him the exact same thing I'm about to show you. But his biggest regret is he wasted 20 years of his life when the solution was right there in front of him. But you don't have to waste another minute. Just one tiny commitment right now and you'll have a 20-year shortcut to wealth in your hands immediately. Just click the button right now to start our Profit Alliance.